Pashas Va'era, Tafshin Pei. I made that share a little bit more personal, so you can have a rail, so you can handle it. It's very interesting. It's basically talking to every person at every moment in his life. This is an interesting share. Let's go on the right away. Check the psukim. I'm not going to go very deep on the psukim at this time, but I just want to show you. Moshe comes back from Paro. His mission didn't succeed. Paro said, Nirpim, you bunch of no goods, you have plenty of time, and that's what you're thinking in your head, of going to worship HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the desert for 3 days. So he added work. Midrashim behind these have a lot of stories. They went to fields, and people used to beat them up, not to let them take even the straw that would have helped them because they had to gather it, but not to give it to the Jews to make it simpler. So it was a tremendous hard time. The hardship reached a crazy level at that time. And Moshe Rabbeinu, who used to love the Bnei Yisrael with a passion, when they told him that, he went with a vengeance to the Malchus. Vayoshav Moshe el Hashem. He went before HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Vayoymar. And here we have the name of the Malchus. We don't have, you see, it changed from Yud-Kei Vav-Kei to Adnos. And he didn't care. Before HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Zohar says it's like a son-in-law of a king talking very harshly to the daughter of the king, to the princess he married before the king. If he was not Moshe Rabbeinu, the Zohar said, he would have been dead. Lama hareoisa la'amazeh. Why did you do so much bad? At least don't do any good. Don't make them come out of Mitzrayim. But why would you do so much bad? Look at the word. Hareoisa. We're missing the vav here. And there's another hey at the end. So he's talking feminine. He's talking to the Malchus. He's blaming the Malchus for the added work and added hardship of the Bnei Yisrael. Why he called them Lamazeh? I'm not going to go into this. Lamazeh shalachtani. Why did you send me? If you knew already that it would not be successful and the only outcome will be more hardship for the Yidden, you know all of the Jews. Why did you send me? Umeaz basi el paroi ledaber bishmecha. And since I arrived before Paro to talk in your name, Heira la'amazeh, all they got is only hardship and bad. Vehatzel, but saving them, lo hitzalta esamecha. Now he's talking masculine. Very interesting game here, Moshe Rabbeinu. That's the last psukim of last parsha, and now Vaydaber Eloikim. Very harsh way to answer. The Malchus is going to answer Moshe Rabbeinu, but he doesn't tell us what he answers. Vaydaber Eloikim el Moshe. Okay. What did you tell him? How did you answer his complaint? No, doesn't say. Vayomer elav. He told him, Ani Hashem. And Rashi explained what is Ani Hashem. It's the midah you always see when a reward is giving, that name appears in the pasuk, or a punishment is given, this name appears in the pasuk. This pasuk, honestly, not explainable the way it is because it doesn't give us the adjectives, the adverbs, the verbs. Okay, fine. So what are you telling Moshe Rabbeinu? Nothing. Va'era el Avraham, appeared to Avraham el Yitzchak el Yaakov. Why do we have to repeat 3 times? El Avraham, Yitzchak ve Yaakov. Like when Moshe went before Paro, he says, Eloike, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Bekel Shakai. When it appeared to them, it was only through the name Kel Shakai. Ushmi Hashem, but my name, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Yud Ke Vav Ke Kudsha Berichu, Loi Noidati Lahem. I didn't tell them. Well, let's take a little pause here because that's going to be the main pasuk on which we're going to dwell today. You're telling me that you only appeared to Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov bekel Shakai. Let me give you a pasuk. Vayomer Elov ani Hashem. Hashem said to Avraham, I am Hashem asher hoitzesicha me'or kasdim. I saved you from the fire when Nimrod threw you. So it doesn't say ani kel Shakai. I don't know how many psukim. I just wanted to give you an example. Vayera Elov Hashem be'Elohim Mamre. After the bris milah, Yud Ke Vav Ke. So what is this pasuk saying? I only appear to them, bekel Shakai. Now, pay attention to this. Ushmi Hashem, and my name Hashem, loi noidati lahem. Grammarly is completely wrong. It should have been a hey here. Loi hoidati lahem. Noi comes back to Hashem himself. But you're talking about your name. Or if you want to say it that way, so we should have put here a base. Uvishmi Hashem. And with my names, I never, then you have to translate lo noidativ. It's him. The subject is the shmi. It should have had a vav here at the end. So no matter the way we take it, grammarly, it's wrong. Obviously, the pasuk doesn't mean, just pshat pashut, my name of Hashem, because we see there are many psukim where HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and there's no need to kvetch, to try to find the, hatirutzim. It's clear. Now he's going to say, Vegam hakimoisi esberisi itama. Also, apparently accomplished. Vegam. What is it connected to? Who's talking? You say Va'era el Abraham and Yitzchak and Yaakov bekel Shaka. You're talking about Shemus. You're talking about appearance with names, with spheroids, with midos, with okay. Vegam hakimoisi esberisi itam. What's the connection? It says vahakimoisi, vegam, and also. And what is this word? Hakimoisi. Hikamti. You want to say I made it stand? Hikamti. In the past. Hakimoisi, I don't understand if it's past, it's future, it's present. What is it? And if you want to say Hakimoisi means kiyamti, so you say kiyamti. I accomplished my alliance with them to give them Eretz Canaan. There's tremendous sadness in this pasuk. I wrote a whole drush just on that pasuk. Because look at the pasuk. I gave them Eretz Canaan. Okay, stop there. We know from the whole Chumash Bereshis that the Abbas Akdoshim, they were in Eretz Canaan. No, it's not enough. Eis Eretz Megureim. It doesn't say Eretz Megureim. You want there's something hidden here. The land where they resided, like you didn't know. Okay, let's say I can swallow that, but the last one, no. Asher Garuba, that they resided in it. But that's Eretz Megureim. How can they be the land of the residents if they don't reside in it? This whole thing here could have been taken away. Taken off the pasuk. It wouldn't have harmed the beginning, of understanding. I'm going to give you the rare. whenever we're going to speak about Moshe Rabbeinu, the Torah speaks to you, not to Moshe Rabbeinu. We know who Moshe Rabbeinu is. We don't need anything, but everything we're going to say tonight about the Moshe Rabbeinu, in a nutshell, was given a mission. The mission failed. He comes, he complains. So he is only the messenger. He has to carry out the mission. He did it, but Hashem had to do his part. He didn't. So Moshe Rabbeinu said, it's not my fault. It's yours. That's in a nutshell. A person in this world, every hour, every minute, is on a mission. Are we going to turn around to Hashem? I failed the mission. What am I doing? It's your mission. The way HaKadosh Baruch Hu answered Moshe Rabbeinu, it will be mind-boggling. The true nature of a mission and why is a person, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends you in a mission, you're not missing a hair to succeed that mission. It's up to you. You have the beginning of an end and the end. We cannot be toile the failure of the mission onto HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And we're going to prove level by level and go. Hopefully, I'm not going to sleep. I promise myself that I'm not going to dig in too hard because there are so many soides in this. And when I read the pasuk and I don't touch you the everything, it really hurts me. Let's take the pasuk. Va'era el Avraham el Yitzchak ve'el Yaakov. Okay, appeared to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov with what? With the midah of Kel Shakar. Let's go slow. Very hard. You don't understand the pearls. I had to remove from here a knowledge, a sight, a vision behind the words of something that is anyway. So I want to pass you the other message that I think is just as important. Why we have kel? Because in the previous drush I answered that they all wanted to take upon themselves part of the galus. In other words, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, from his side of the alliance, he had to give them Eretz Canaan. But they refused. They said, we're not accepting it. Why are you not accepting it? Because we know our children are going to be in a harsh galus. And we want to alleviate the harshness of it by being ourselves in galus. So Abraham did his galus his way, Yitzchak his way, Yaakov his way, 3 different ways, kel. I'm still going to show you some very interesting stuff and some soides here, in this lashon. Don't worry. But the Gemara in Bava Metzia recounts that Eliyahu Hanavi used to come every day to the yeshiva of Rebbe. One day he came late. So Rebbe asked him, why is a master coming late today? He said, because I had a lot of work today. I had to wake up Avram, wash him negel Wasser, prepare him for davening, let him daven, put him back to sleep, wake up Yitzchak, and so forth, and then Yaakov. So Rebbe wondered, why don't you wake them up, all the 3 at once? And Eliyahu said, I can't, because if they're davening the 3 together, Mashiach has to come. So I'm not allowed to wake them up. So Rebbe was Yudanasi was a big chacham. He said, is there anyone in this generation that has that power, like the others? He says, yes, Rabbi Chia and his children. The next day, Rabbi claps, Tainis, for everyone, all Klal Yisrael. And when the Tainis, they used to be in the street because everybody used to gather, and there was no building that could contain all of them. And he told Rabbi Chia and his children, go, so he's a Nasi, they have to listen, go before the Amud, you're going to be Shliach Tzibur. So when they started doing a Chazos HaShatz, they said, Mashiv HaRuach, the wind came. Merida Geshem, started raining. When they came to Mechayim Meisim, the earth trembled. In Shamayim HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, who revealed that secret down in the world below? So the Malachim said, it's Eliyahu HaNavi. They called Eliyahu HaNavi, and they gave him 60 pulsar de nura. You hear that word sometimes, pulsar de nura. Pulsar de nura is the whip of fire. And at that moment, that fire came down, and everybody was a little bit off their mark, because it seemed like the Gemara said there it took the shape of a bear. So everybody got a bit scared, so they didn't pay attention. HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't do Mechayim Meisim. We see the koyach of the Avos. If they had been together, obviously, Kel Avram, El Yitzchak, El Yaakov seems to say that the reason they separated, because had they davened together, they would have freed us also from Mitzrayim. The pasuk, if we pay attention, Va'era. Where do you see another time the Torah is using that lashon? It's a very rare lashon. Va'era. Va'era. Why is the Torah using such a rare lashon to start our parsha? Va'era equals 208, equals Yitzchak. Did he do something special here? We'll see. It seems to say that where Yitzchak is, so we have Avram in Chesed, we have Yitzchak in Gvura, and we have Yaakov in the center in the Tiferes. Shalom is complete because he's holding onto the Chesed of Avram and onto the Gvura of Yitzchak. He is Rachmim, Chesed, Gvura, Rachamim. Okay. It seems, so the Gvura, even though they had, we learned last week that the reason of the Shibud Mitzrayim was because they had to correct the 4 generations, Mabul, Haflaga, Enosh, Mabul, Haflaga, Sdoim. 4 generation, huge neshamas. They were supposed to receive the Torah. We saw this last week. They were supposed to receive the Torah, but they were mushchasim. They failed to live to the level of the neshama. Why? Because they came. We learned also because they came from those tipos that Adam Arishan saw when he was, from Darya Kodesh in Vayakam El Chodesh, when he separated himself 130 years from his wife. I'm not going back to last week. It's enough. The Zohar Kodesh in Pashas Vayigash, it's a very, very well-known subject. It's about the Geula. Bnei Yisrael are going to say, Ki ata avinu. Ata is who? Who do they talk to? But they're saying like this, you can think, retroactively who they talk about. Ki Avram lo yedanu. Avram doesn't know us. Explains the Metzudos, explains the Zohar, that when it was Bris ben Abesarim, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him about the several galuyos that Bnei Yisrael are going to be, he didn't daven for us. For Yishmael he daven. Lu Yishmael yechyeh lefanecha. But for Bnei Yisrael he didn't daven. Lo yedanu, he doesn't know us. VeYisrael and Yaakov Avinu lo yakirenu. He doesn't recognize us. Now the pasuk is going to change his language. It's going to say Ata Hashem Avinu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, but at the beginning, he doesn't say Ata Hashem. He says, Ata Hashem Avinu, Goyalech me'olam shemecha. You are our Savior forever. In other words, Ki Ata Avinu is going to Yitzchak. That's the only one that's not mentioned. We're going to see what's going on behind that pasuk. You are our Savior because you are a father, and you're acting like a father who has mercy on his children, which is the normal thing, the normal behavior. By the way, mercy is not the mother, contrary to what everyone thinks. It's the father that has rachmi. And Avram and Israel and Yaakov Avinu, we're going to take it slowly, and you're going to see, you will understand the whole subject, but this is going to be a huge foundation for understanding, our relationship and the mission of a person. And so we're going to take it very slowly. But at the end, we're going to say, Ato Hashem Avinu, you are HaKadosh Baruch Hu, our true Father, and you are our Savior. If we just try to crystallize a little bit what we have learned so far, not too loose, because there's a lot of little components here. Hashem is telling Moshe Rabbeinu, I have appeared. All they know of me, the arose HaKadoshim, is the midah kel shakai. Kel shakai is the yichud of the bria, right? Olam HaBria, we know that. So that's all they know. And he happens to be, in terms of value, 345, exactly like Moshe. But they did not refrain from going out and davening for the Bnei Yisrael in the Geula. What have you done? Have you davened? Why didn't you daven? You have the same midah. You're at the same level. You have kel shakai. So now I'm going to change from the beginning when we go back to the pasuk Va'era el Avraham el Yitzchak ve'el Yaakov. I'm really walking on a cliff here that I want to open my mouth, but hopefully I'm going to hold it. 3 times kel is 31. Because where do we see in the pasuk that the arose HaKadoshim came here to daven? It doesn't say in the Lashon. So how can the Zohar come back and give us? Yeah, it's simple. It's in the pshat. Look. So if you take 3 times kel, 3 times 31 equals 93, equals Magen. This is the kavana in Shemona Esrei when we say Baruch Atah Hashem Magen Avraham. What is the shield that we're taking with us during the day it's the Magen. Okay, I'm going to tell you something I didn't want to tell you, but I will tell you. It's when you take Magen Avraham, it's very interesting. Magen is 3 times kel. Magen Avraham is 11 times kel. So we have 11 plus 3 equals what? 14 times Kel. 14 equals David, the Malchus. Basically, Avram is sending a protection to the Malchus to protect us. So you know how it works. The Chesed is sending to the Malchus, to the Yesod to the Malchus, and the Malchus to us. So when we say, Baruch Atah Hashem Magen Avram, we're not saying you protected Avram. This is so far-fetched from the reality. We are bringing down the oil that came from the Chesed and that protects us from the enemies for the day. That's the Kavanah of Magen Avram. Rashi explains the Taina of HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Moshe Rabbeinu. You come to me, you say, Lama hareoisa, what did you do bad? Almost, what did you punish them? It's time for Geula, and all we see that came out is darkness. Shir of last week. Migoy chashoicha nafik nehoira. From the darkness comes the light. It has to be as dark as possible, then the light shines. So you come and you complain to me. Abraham Avinu, when I told him, take Yitzchak and shecht him on the Akedah, he didn't ask a question. All the Avisadishim, whatever I told them, they did it without asking a question. In other words, Rashi hints. You remember the shir, it was in Parshas, I think, Vayeshev. Every time they have achieved greatness, something big, a tragedy happened. After the Akedah, he doesn't have time to even feel contentment, some happiness that he was Mekayim, the Tzibui B'HaKadosh Baruch Hu, panic aboard, Sarah died. Yaakov Avinu finishes with the Malach of Esau, and the war with Shem and the surrounding countries. He comes to Eretz Canaan to rest to his father. Vayeshev Yaakov beretz megurei aviv, kafats olav rugzo shel Yosef. That's it. Started the problem of Yosef. Never through an achievement we're going to see light. Opposite. We are right now being tested. Told you last week, from Migo Chashoicha Nafik Nehoira, it's a big klal in the Zohar. From the darkness comes the light. Always take the image the Torah gave. On Har Sinai, it was dark, and inside was a light. And from the light comes the Choshech. It's mathematical. If you don't understand it, work on it. So that's how Rashi teaches it. I have a huge problem with this touch. Why? Because Moshe Rabbeinu has a response to this, has a reason. He says, I'm not the one who triggered the Shibud of Mitzrayim. It's Avram. The Gemara says in Edarim Lamed Beis Amud Aleph, Bama Edar Ki Roshena. Oh, you doubting me? Your children are going to go to Mitzrayim. Obviously, there's a lot of current. In order to make an ocean, you need a lot of rivers. So we always blame it for one of the rivers, but it's not a one river. But still understand that the Gemara says, Chazal is saying that the reason of Shibud Mitzrayim is Avraham Avinu. So what do you come, Rashi, and tell me all of a sudden, greatness of the Avos, they never seen, they carried out missions. Yeah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu spoke to Avraham, and he told him you're going to have it. Bama Eda Ki Rashena. How do I know that I'm going to have Eretz Canaan? Dari HaKodesh explains in Shara Psukim. Ari HaKadosh wrote 3 Svarim ala Torah, because every time I give you a different name, so one time, let's settle it. Sefer HaLikutim, Likutei Torah, and Shara Psukim. 3 different Svarim. Sometimes you see a little bit the same lashon, the same word, but usually they're different. So here it's in Shara Psukim, the Ari HaKadosh says, do you know why? And I'm emphasizing on the question now. I'm keeping on. You're going to see, do you know why it was so harsh, the Shibud of Mitzrayim? If you look, you freeze on a picture and you look at this baby that has been taken and put in the wall because the father could not complete the number of bricks he had to do that day. It's terrible. It's terrible. It makes you go out of your mind. So the Ari is Megale, the reason of it. If you see those babies that were taken from the arms of their mother and thrown into the Nile, if you freeze the picture, it's terrible. So the Ari HaKadosh says that these babies were neshamas. Okay, we all know that the neshamas of the 4 generations, but in every generation, there was a level of that they were doing, but some exceeded that. Those who are mainstream in their generation were able to gain a tikkun through the Shibud of Mitzrayim. Those who exceeded it could not. They had to be born and be killed. That was their tikkun. In other words, the dirt of the Mabul was through water. So those children that were thrown in the Nile were neshamas from the generation of the Mabul that had passed every norm. There's no possibility through life to be mesak in this. Like the Gemara says in Yuma, only death can do it. They're born and they die harshly. That's the tikkun. And then they will be reborn into a normal Jew. The Der Haflaga is the der that created the Migdal, the tower. So those who have exceedingly sinned were put in the wall as bricks. They would die, and that was the tikkun. So now when you look a little bit more of the picture, you understand the justice of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that he doesn't want a neshama, yes, the body dying like this, as we see through our body, it does shock us. But at the end of the day, there's a bigger story in here. Our world is the smallest of all the worlds, contained in all the other worlds which we can't see. But we can only see them through our mind when we believe Hashem. Without limitation. And that gives us the perspective to understand. They had to become, I would like to show you that one. So in Bris Ben Abesarim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told Avram, they're going to be enslaved, or in Mitzrayim, Arba Me'oy Shana, 400 years. Arba Me'oy, it's written in full, Shana. Okay, I don't have time to boil this. This equals 1,075. We know that 1,075 is the 5 times that's the oir in mentioned in the Parshat Bereshis, in the Bria. Oir, la oir, ha-oir. Equals exactly 1,075, but it's equal to Yisro in full. Yud, Shin, Reish, Aleph, Lamed. This tells you who we are. We are a receptacle. So when we are Yisrael, we are a receptacle for the light. And which light? The Ensof, the light of the Beriah, that was the creation, which HaKadosh Baruch Hu took away from this world, but we can access it when we elevate ourselves. So it's not completely taken away. It is when we are Yisrael in full, through and through, not like some Nazi Jews, the capos, and we have plenty of them around here. So these are, when you have the Midas of Yisrael, this is what we have. Yud, Shin, Reish, Aleph, Lamed. And that's the reason that as long as they were Yisrael, they did not go into Shirbud. Only the last 86 years, when Paro managed to take them out of the yeshiva, learning the Torah of Sod of Yaakov Avinu as we learned it last week, these 86 years, they had a harsh time. Otherwise, no, they didn't have a harsh time. The proof is, when they go out, it says in the Pasuk, Umoishav Bnei Yisrael, and Be'eretz Mitzrayim, and the time the Jews resided. Moishav means like just a normal life, citizen. Asher Yoshvu Be'eretz Mitzrayim. Moishav Bnei Yisrael. Asher Yoshvu. I'm not going into that pasuk. Arba Me'oi Shana Ushloishim Shana. But then the pasuk is going to tell you it's 430 years. Play with the 430, you will have the say. Play with the gematrias. Now you know what 400. Play with Shloshim Shana, as it's written in the pasuk. You will have the answer, and you will realize that 430. So there was supposed to be 400 from the time of Yitzchak to the exodus of Mitzrayim, but it was from Bris Ben Abesarim. He took upon himself Avram goes. The question here is, because we start building the character of the others, seeing, we started that at the end of time, we're going to say, they're not our father. They did stuff. It's up to us. It's not up to them. It's up to us. Amaya Yisrael. Do I have the three midas of Israel that they're recognized by? Or I don't have them? Am I behaving like a Jew? Or I'm behaving like a Nazi? That's the fundamental question a person should ask himself when he has a decision to make. And he will realize if he will be a receptacle, because it goes both ways. You're Yisrael, great life. You're not a Yisrael, well, darkness. Now we see Rashi exactly saying the words of what we explained the pasuk beforehand. Moshe Rabbeinu, I didn't have to send with you anything. Because really Moshe Rabbeinu was expecting HaKadosh Baruch Hu to free the Jews through the shemis of the Chochmah, the shemis of the Bina, the shemis of this and the shem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu said, he couldn't understand Moshe Rabbeinu. How these languages are going to free the Jews? I understand when you say Yud Kevavke written that way and Keye written that way and together and this we understand. The oyer is removing the chitzonim. Automatically those down there also are being removed. Okay, Moshe Rabbeinu can understand. Rashi tells him It's in your name. The others had to access it. You didn't have to access it. You were sent to in that mission because you had the capacity to overcome the mission. You had the capacity to succeed in that mission. The reason it failed has nothing to do with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I sent you with the right tools, Tel Shakai, because the others made a lot of things happen just with that simple yichud. I have time, I'm going to explain it. Now we ask the question, okay, the grammar is incorrect. Ushmi Hashem lo noidati lohem. I said before, I should have said, Uvishmi Hashem lo noidativ lohem. Or it should have said, Ushmi Hashem lo hoidati. So we know it's crooked. Let's go a second here. So we're going to be able to understand the touch much easier with a number. Where is it? There it is. So we know there's a mistake of grammar here. There's nothing we can change. We're not going to change the pasuk. So the pasuk is telling us, dig in. There is something for you here. 1028 equals Avain Mashris Af Kema. The four clippers that always punish. Vehu rachum yechaper avoid. First klippa, we say in before Ma'ariv. Why? Because it's the time that the chitzonim are shoylet in the world. Veloi yashchis, against klippas mashchis. Vehirba le'ashiv apoi, against the klippa af. Veloi yair kol chamosoi chema. These are, if you remember in the Haggadah, in the machlokes between Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Eliezer, and Rabbi Akiva, Yeshalach bam charoin apoy evra vazam mishlachas manachera, all this. These are the clippers. They'll punish the Jews, but they'll punish the Mitzrim also afterward. The others didn't know that. This is a higher level. Moshe Rabbeinu had access to this level. He knew who was bringing mayhem to the Bnei Yisrael. Kel Shaka is enough to wipe them out. Why? Who's in the Bria? The Bina. What happened when the Bina sends its oil? They all ran away to the Gehinnom. They would have run away. Moshe Rabbeinu, it was very simple for you to do it. You didn't do it, you blew it. Moshe Rabbeinu, nothing's bad. So, who did it? I would like to know who did it. If we go into the pasuk again, we saw before Va'era equals 208. It's Yitzchak. So we have here Moshe Rabbeinu going, but we have also, we have Yitzchak in the game. Moshe, HaKadosh Baruch Hu promises when it's time for Yaakov to go down, he promises him, Anochi ered imcha Mitzrayim. I'll go down with you to Mitzrayim. The Anochi alcha gam aloi. And I'll bring you back up. Remember this name? It's one of the 72 names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Remember, Soimech Hashem lechol hanoiflim, Samech Lamed Hey Yud, no Yud Hey, Soimech Hashem, Samech Yud Lamed Hey, 105. When someone falls, should have in mind this name, because this name is exclusively from bringing up people that came down, that felt any fall, making an chas v'sham a chet, fall, someone stole you, fall, everything. This name will bring you back up on your feet. So that's the reason Yaakov Avinu went to Mitzrayim. If we take Anoichi Ered Imcha, who's going down with you? Who's speaking? Who's saying? The Bina, the Malchus, Anoichi, who is it? HaKadosh Baruch Hu? This equals 416. Equals 2 times Yitzchak. Ve'anoichi alcha gam alei. This equals 208 equals Yitzchak. Okay? We have 3 times Yitzchak. We know that each Yitzchak equals 8 times Yud Kei Vav Kei. So we have 3 times Yitzchak. We have 24 times. We have 24 times altogether Yud Kei Vav Kei. In Parshas Bereshis at the beginning, till by Chulu, when we call the 32 ways of the Bina, it says 32 times Elohim. We all know when the name Elohim comes out, you need that. Remember the Garan, 3 times Elohim. You need Hashchita, 3 times Hashem Elohim. Isgadel ve'iskadesh shemei Rabba. Rashi Tevois, 3 times Hashem Elohim. We need to combine the name of Hashem with Elohim to stop the harshness, to stop the dinim. Now, we only have 24 times, but we have 32 times Elohim. We still have 8 times Elohim that are not protected. This equals to, I think it's 2,752. That's correct. If you take when the dinim come, it's choshech. So what do we lose? The light. What it says there in that same parasha there, Yehi Oyer. Yehi Oyer. That's what we're gonna lose. If you take it in the Milui, Yud, Hey, Yud, Aleph, Vav, Reish, and 4. They lost it in Olam Asiyah. Because some people make sins that are not reaching so high, but these, the Bnei Yisrael, when in Mitzrayim, they sinned again like the 4th generation. Number 1, Olam Asiyah. They went Olam Yetzirah. All the lights, the Olam Beria. So 4 times Yehi Oyer like this equals exactly 2,752. We need another Yitzchak. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave it Va'era equals 208 equals, for the fourth time, we have Yitzchak. From the descent to Mitzrayim. Until now, you're not going to find it. That's the only time. Now we have 32 times Lamed Beis times Yud Ke Vav Ke, so the dinim stop. This equals 832. So these are, what is the 32 ways of Yud Ke Vav Ke versus the 32 ways of Elohim? The 32 ways of Elohim is the Bina. The 32 ways of Yud Ke Vav Ke is in the Chach. Equals Eretz Yisrael. That's why as soon as they go out and they deserve the 32 ways of Yud Ke Vav Ke, they're going to Eretz Yisrael. It equals also to the Ur HaKeser, to say which light came out because they have darkened all the lights. The only one they can't touch is untouchable, is the one of the Keser. For those who come Shabbos, you understand why the Keser remain in Pedeak, so it cannot be touched by all the other Midas are exposed, so they can be touched by the Maisim of the one down below. But when the Keser went back up in Pedeak, it's not for everyone, this, okay? Just don't ask me a question after that about this. But those who learn Shabbos afternoon will understand this. But the Keser went back in Pedeak, just turned around and remained there, just in case, like in Mitzrayim. Then the Keser had to bring there. That's the 32 times Yud Ke Vav Ke. Now we see that Yitzchak is the main actor for Yetzias Mitzrayim, not Moshe Rabbeinu. Gemara in Shabbos says, bring this image this very, very well. Same pasuk, Ki ata Avinu. Asid Laboy, the Gemara says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will come to the Abba, says, Avram, wake him up. Your children have sinned. He's going to tell them, exterminate them for the sanctity of your name. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is shocked. It's chesed. So he thought, no. He said, he didn't have many children. Let me go to Yaakov. He suffered, because of his children, so he might have a feeling for them, for the Bnei Yisrael. He wakes them up. He wakes him up. Says, Yaakov, your children have sinned. Exterminate them for the sanctity of your name. The Baruch Hu says, not the old and not the young. Let me go in the middle. He goes to Yitzchak. He says, Yitzchak, your children have sinned. He tells him, my children? No, not your children. When they were in Mitzrayim, you says, Bnei Yisrael. Now you want to make them mine? Or because there's a problem, you want to make them mine? He says, what is it? And he says, I mean, what's the big deal here? He says, what? Average person lives 70 years? Till 20 years, he's not chayav, he has no oynish. Take 20 years off. You have 50 years left. Now you have 50 years of day and night. So take off 25 years of the night. You have 25 years, he can sin. But now a person is also has private needs like eating, drinking, davening, bathroom. Takes half his time. Take it off. You have 12 and a half years. He says, if you want HaKadosh Baruch Hu, if you're 12 you can't take it by yourself, take it. If you don't want to take it by yourself, let's split it between you and I. And if even that you don't want, let me take it. I'll take it by myself. I'll take all the sins of all Am Yisrael that they have done because I did Akedas Yitzchak. Huge statement. Yitzchak Avinu is going to make it. Exactly juxtaposed, the Geula of Mitzrayim, Yitzchak Avinu, the last one, Yitzchak Avinu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu would agree. You remember the rules on Rosh Hashanah, Akedas Yitzchak? Why is Akedas Yitzchak make it valid, to to be able to take all the sins of all Am Yisrael, for all that. How can you take that? It's a very simple way. Remember, 30 times Yud Ke Vav Ke equals Tisha B'Av, 780 Tisha B'Av. Akedah Sitzchak equals Tisha B'Av. You remember the kavanah of the Prosecutors of the shofar? Akedah Sitzchak had the way to banish the prosecutors. It's not that he's going to carry. There's not going to be a persecution on all this. So what's the problem? Okay, they have sinned, but there's no persecution. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu did about it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu cannot forgo if there's a persecutor. But if there's no persecutor, okay, take it off. Now that's it. It's gone. And that's the 4 times Yitzchak is mentioned here. Because the 4 times is 32 times Yud Ke Vav Ke. He has much more power than the Satan. So when Yitzchak comes out, prosecutors in this world, they go very quickly, out of the Beis Shalmaila. They don't ask for anything. We see then 2 huge actors in the Geulah of Mitzrayim. Why is it important to understand that? Because exactly the way it happens in Mitzrayim and our understanding, this is how it's going to happen at the end of time. Only in bigger, but the same path, the same way. And now we have proven already that we spoke about the Mashiach in Parshas Vayechi, that Moshe Rabbeinu will be coming with on his right the Mashiach ben David, on his left the Mashiach ben Yosef. So we know we're going to have Moshe Rabbeinu, but we're going to have Yitzchak Avinu now. That's what we learned. So, a dumb question. If Yitzchak is so big, and Avraham is so big, that first HaKadosh Baruch Hu asks Avraham, how come Moshe, his power as a Navi was greater than all of the others? Va'era el Avram el Yitzchak ve'el Yaakov bekel shakai. You are accessing Yud Ke Vav Ke, the name of the Tiferes. They were never able. They remained at the Malchus. You understand now why Kel Shaka is also Rachel Imenu. That's the level they could work in order, so they had to always go through the Malchus. But Moshe Rabbeinu was using the Midah in order to be inside the Tiferes where the Yud Ke Vav Ke is, right under who? The Keser. So Yitzchak did his part in a certain way, but it's still not logical to have Moshe Rabbeinu greater than Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. So if you look in the Tikkunim, in the Zohar Kodesh, somehow we can understand, because it brings down, Moshe Rabbeinu said to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that now I don't want to go in a mission if you don't give me an ois, not a sign, but something to make them believe that I'm coming on your behalf, because they're not going to trust me. So Hashem say, well, how can you talk like this about my children? The Bnei Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, they have emunah. He says, no, because you never appeared to the Aves HaKdoshim with the name Yud Ke Vav Ke, and I'm going with the name Yud Ke Vav Ke. They're not going to believe me. So what? All of a sudden, someone comes in our generation and is greater than Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. This is when HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him the signs. But we see from the language of the Zohar that Moshe Rabbeinu was not greater than them. It's only because of the side note that, so explain the Zohar. Avram, so Adam Arishon, with his chet, created a pgam in the 4 letters of the name of Hashem. Yud, Ke, Vav, Ke. Kem Avram repaired the Yud. Kem Yitzchak repaired the hay. Kem Yaakov repaired the vav. Kem Moshe repaired the last hay. It's obvious now. Moshe Rabbeinu is holding on the last part of the name, but Avraham Avinu was holding the beginning of the name. Now we have a reason why HaKadosh Baruch Hu didn't appear as Paklaria HaMe'ira, through the shining sky. They were always poking through the dark sky. As Paklaria de Loi Me'ir. The moon doesn't have its own light. It gets it from the sun. But if there was no sun, the moon would be totally dark. And that's how the Nevi'is of the Arose. But now we understand through the Zohar that it was not because of a lack of greatness from Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, is because the name of Hashem was not yet repaired. And what Moshe deserved to go up there above them, it was because he repaired the last hay. Altogether, it was Yud Ke Vav Ke, and they started to shine again. And automatically, since he completed the work, he deserved to have if we take the first pasuk, Vaydaber Elokim al Moshe, Vayomer Elav Ani Hashem. Now, we said, the rebuke is not mentioned in the pasuk. So what was the rebuke? The rebuke is Vaydaber Elokim al Moshe. The midah of Elokim, Midas Adin, spoke to Moshe. Vayomer Elav Ani Hashem, told him Ani Hashem. That's all. Where is the rebuke? The rebuke is, if you take the whole pasuk, equals 1075. Equals Israel in full as we wrote it. Equals all the light. Moshe Rabbeinu, the light you're getting is not out of your greatness. Is also out of the work of the Arose Hakdesh. That's the rebuke. Moshe Rabbeinu, the Bnei Yisrael are becoming Israel, not only because of you, but also because of the Arose and the work they have done. That's the rebuke. A person, no matter what situation, always has under his nose the solution. Yeah, we want to be a market. No. Back off. When you see that you're hitting a wall, back off. Let Hashem play, because you are deciding this is the right path. But Hashem is telling you, no, this is the end of the road here. Because over behind the guards here, there's a cliff. Don't go through that. So don't be an action when you see. You have to be receiving the oil of Yisrael. You have to be receiving the oil of Yitzchak Avinu from the Kevavke. Let it shine upon you, and you will see HaKadosh Baruch Hu will guide you directly. That's the message. Not Chaz v'Shalom that Moshe Rabbeinu did a mistake. Chaz v'Shalom at Chaz v'Shalom. You're going to see the greatness of Moshe Rabbeinu has no end. To the point, since when he started shepherding us, he's not going to stop through the generations. There's no generation, there's no Moshe Rabbeinu. But still, we're looking through this angle only to show us that the power we all have, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is sending us in a mission, he's sending us in a mission with the tools to succeed. Let's not come back, turn around and say, hey, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Reb Nachman put it in, has a very famous say on this. They approached him, they say, what if someone has done terrible things in his life? What can he do? I mean, how can he not break down and give up? You understand the question. He says, if you believe he can destroy, then believe he can create. He can build. It's all in the belief. If you believe that you can destroy, believe that you can build. I have destroyed. Okay. Don't waste your time going to your emotions and going down. This is exactly the path and what the Satan wants you to go through. But the truth is, what you should do is right away cool off your mind and say, I'm going to rebuild right now, starting right away. Not delayed, I can rebuild. No matter what was the destruction. While you breathe, you can rebuild. The Chida HaKadosh is giving us, he wants to give a little chap. If you take the last letters of Abraham, it's a mem. The last letter of Yitzchak, it's a kuf. The last letter of Yaakov is a base. Base, kuf, mem. You put them in that order and you're going to Adbash, Aleph Tav, base Gimel, and so forth. It comes out Shakai. You can see already it's hinted. So he says that's the touch. El Avraham, El Yitzchak, El Yaakov, Bekel Shakai. It was predestined that they can reach the level Shakai, and they don't need more in order to achieve even great goals. Why? Because their emunah is complementing the level of action. In other words, I'm going to take you an example. I'm going to give you an example. You have a hiji-biji who knows a Baba, who knows Kabbalah Masis. He knows the Shemis, he knows the Malachim. He can do things with that. He's the doer. That's not the Arves Akdoshim what they want. They want us to daven, to raise the Malchus, and through that, like this, never like this, never horizontal. That's where you're going to find Esav. Esav is on that road. But on that road, only Bnei Yisrael and HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A person, that's what the Mishnah says in Novice, is forced to always think at every moment when he's coming into death or whatever, Bishvili Nivra Ha'olam. The whole world was created only for me. And I'm the one keeping it standing. So my actions will define if it's going to be destroyed or it's going to keep on going the way it goes. I'm going to finish on one note here. We asked the question because otherwise I don't want to go into too many inyanim. So I want to keep it on the taste that you really understand that you have within you the power to act, just like the biggest magician. Remember, Potiphar wanted both Yosef for one purpose. He wanted Yosef more than his wife wanted Yosef. Remember at the beginning, it was called Potiphar, then it's called Potiphar Seris Paroi. Says the Tanchuma. He couldn't live with himself. So much envy he had, he castrated himself. That's why it's called Seris. He had to go to that extent. It was Shiga. Lavan, when Yaakov came, the Midrash says, people were scared to start with Lavan because he would turn every individual, every enemy of his, into a rat. Yaakov came, he thought, oh my gosh, I'm having the cream of the cream here. I'm going to turn him as a goy and doing chataim so I can gain his life. And he was doing kishuv the whole time. It didn't work. When a Jew is elevating himself, is on the path to rise, there's nothing that can touch him. There's really nothing. The difference between Shabbos, I'll explain you. I would like to explain you this. Shmi Hashem, Ani Hashem. In the Malchus, where is the difference? We'll talk our language. Ushmi Hashem equals 376 Shalom. The name in the Yesod. I'm just going to say that here. I'm not going to explain too much. It's when the Malchus is connected with the Yesod. This name, I didn't tell them. Shalom. You know why Shalom is the name of Hashem? If you do Yud Ke Vav Ke, 10 times 5, 5 times 6, 6 times 5, you're going to have 186. And if you go, no, sorry. Yud times, you multiply them first by themselves. 10 times 10, 5 times 5, 6 times 6, 5 times 5. You have 186, Mokim. That's why Mokim is also a name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. At the place I will have. We never talk about the place. You bring your carbon in the Yud Ke Vav Ke. That's the mission of a Jew, to come and visit the Beis HaMikdash in order to bring his carbon into the Yud Ke Vav Ke, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu will wipe all your sins. Then if you add on top of this, now you go back, as I said before, 10 times 5, 5 times 6, 6 times 5, you're going to have 190. 10 times 5 is 50. No, 10 times 5, 5 times 10. 5 times 6, 6 times 5, 6 times 5. That 190. 190 plus 176 equal 186 equals 376. That's correct. Loi noidati. We had the error in grammar. And I'm finishing exactly on this. Loi noidati. I did not reveal it to them, or I did not appear to them. I did not inform them, whatever you want to translate it. Equals 571. Babel, Parasumadai, Yavan, Edom. The 4 Galuyas left. Kadosh Baruch Hu told Moshe Rabbeinu, again, the reason I didn't inform them about the rest, so we saw the side because of the emunah. He says also because it's not for them. You're going to be the one. You're going to be the goyah. You're going to deliver them. And therefore, you have to know it, because it's only through this that you're going to be able to free them from every galus. Umevi goya livne v'neihem leman shmoi b'yahava, right? Umevi goya. You know what you're saying here? I'm not thinking about. Mem for marble. Base for sorry. It's the other galuyas. Mem for Madai. Base for Bavel. Yud for Yavan. Aleph for Edom. He's going to bring the Goyel. Who is the Goyel? How much is Goyel? Goyel equals 40. Okay? We know that it equals 40. 40 say in the mikveh, 40 this, 40 that. We learned this already. Goyel, if you write Yud K Vav K, Yud K Vav K, with the side of doidi, remember this? Meaning the first hey, you count it as dalet vav. The second hey is dalet yud. You remember from the Otzros Chaim, those who learn on Shabbos. So dalet yud. So you're going to take, it's going to become yud, dalet vav, vav, dalet yud. This equals 40. When the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu is like this, is Goyel. From all the four. That's the only way to get out of these four. Umevi Goyel Ivne V'neihem, that the Hashem should turn into Doidi. I mean, he loves us. And then we have the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu can be used to turn into the Geula Shlema B'mehera B'yameinu Amen.